Hey, Scott, do you know how you can discover the best craft brewers in Music City?
I do. Nashville Brew Pass.
Bam! Nashville Brew Pass.
Yes. And Steve, I'm up to 8 stamps in here already.
You are rocking and rolling, Mighty.
I'd have had a few more. I forgot it a couple of times, but I'll still go back and get them.
That's right. So tell us all about what are some of the benefits of Nashville Brew Pass.
Well, first, like I mentioned, when you go somewhere, you get it stamped. You know, it's
Yes,
kind of
you
a
do.
passport, right? And hey, I've been here. Secondly, there's a lot of bargains out there, and I'll give you a couple of instances. Broadcast Brewing and Homegrown Taproom out in Donaldson. Buy one pint, get one free. I know,
Yes.
can't beat that. Monday Night Brewing. It's buy
Monday
one, get a...
night.
Yes, we love Monday night.
Love them.
You buy one, get a free token for a beer. So you're getting a free beer there. And then here's one of the best things, and I think I just discovered this or it's been in here. If you go to Rice Vice, and you and I have not been yet, you can get 20% off your first tab of proper sake at Rice Vice. How crazy is that?
20% off sake. I am there.
Yeah, I know. We got to get over there because we've had a little bit of sake, but we've not had enough. We're gonna go
That's right.
We're gonna go get our 20% off.
You can never have enough sake.
Never. By the way, if you order one of these from NashvilleBrewPass.com or go on their Instagram account and you use the code Brewery Underground Podcast,
yes,
you get $5 off.
$5 off, people. Come on.
I don't know why everybody doesn't have one.
I know it. I love Nashville Brew Pass. Again, go on NashvilleBrewPass.com, go on their Instagram page, and get one of these.
Yes, and it's free shipping all the time.
Well, you can't beat free shipping.
I've got a couple of things to help you remember to bring your Nashville Brew Pass with you if you want to hear them.
I have a feeling you do have some helpful tips. What are they?
Right, because I've forgotten it a couple times and I regretted it.
It happens, yes.
First thing I would suggest, and it's a no-brainer and pretty obvious, but keep it in the car.
Keep it in the car, maybe in your glove compartment.
Maybe in the glove compartment.
How
that
about
way,
that?
You don't forget it at home.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's already with you. Here's another one, and this might be a little silly, but I think it could work. An accountability buddy.
An accountability buddy.
Yes.
Like a workout buddy.
A workout buddy who's always going to remind you.
That's right.
To bring your brew pass with you. And you designate it, maybe make it 3 or 4 people, who knows? But it can always make sure that you have your brew pass with you.
Or make sure you just stick it in your hand. That also is helpful too right. As you're going out the door.
Put it with your keys or your
That's
wallet
right.
or something, so it's always there. Here's one, and I think it'd be a little annoying, but I think it would be proven to work. You can set Siri up to remind you every time you leave the house to bring your Nashville Brew Pass. And then there is another thing that's cool. I actually looked this up today, and I think it works. You can set a location reminder in your phone. And anytime you get near a brewery, it'll remind you to bring your Nashville Brew Pass with
I
you.
love that. I may have to use that one.
That could be a little dangerous, too, at the same time.
That's right. Well, go on NashvilleBrewPass.com or go on their Instagram page now.
Bam!
Bam!
Down in the depths of this brewery scene, for Zachary and John, you know what I mean. Hoppin Frogs brewing, the flavors arise on the podcast underground where the passion rise. Hops in our hands and stories to share. Raise our glasses high, get toast to the air. Tales of the craft and folly of the fight. In every pour we find a light. Hoppin Frogs stands firm. In the podcast underground.
I got some mood music going on. Some stuff I used to play when I would brew by myself at like 5 or 6 a.m. I'd come into a former brewery where I worked and I'd fire up the smooth jazz. So I'm listening to Down to the Bone right now. Great beginning of the day kind of music. And then by the end of the day, back then I'd be listening to Metallica or something like that.
You had to set the tone for the day, right? And then you just work up into Metallica.
Right. That's how it was.
Yes.
That's how it was when I used to brew by myself at the one brewery that we were brewing at. And then there was another brewery where I had an assistant and we would play more normal music.
Well, awesome. Well, we are happy to kick off the Brewery Underground podcast. And, man, we've been so excited, Scott and I have been, about this episode coming up because we stopped at Hoppin Frog in Akron in mid-May. And tonight, Scott, we have an all-star lineup from Hoppin Frog. You want to do the introductions for us, my friend?
Yes. So we've got Fred Karm, owner. Brewmaster still in the title?
Yes. Oh,
all
absolutely.
Right. We've got Zach Bastin, director. Did I get that right?
Yes, Zachary.
And Zachary and John, Humphrey Beer Ambassador. Welcome, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us. That's
yeah,
great.
it's going to be fun. Yeah, we had a great visit. We didn't get to stay long enough because we're on our way to Cleveland, but we made sure we stopped at your brewery on the way up.
Well, thanks. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely talk about that. And I know right before we hit the record button, I know you had said, Fred, we got to start with a beer, and I know you got a beer. Show us what you're drinking tonight.
So I busted this out first. This is our Hot Shots Zesty Pickle Beer, which is tasty. We made this just for the Hot Shots people. It's available at the brewery too. But this is something that isn't really distributed at all. This is a real special beer that we do just locally, and it's a lot of fun. It incorporates a lot of dill pickle flavor and a little bit of spice. And it's light and easy drinking, so super fun. Great one to start the night with.
Nice, yeah.
Cheers to that.
John, how about you? What are you drinking tonight?
All right. Well, I'm going for, and some say it's early. I don't care. I love this beer. I'll drink this beer Christmas time, summertime. If I have it, I'm drinking it. This is our Frog's Hollow Double Pumpkin Ale. It's a gold medal winner at the Great American Beer Festival. But so I started, first 6 years I worked there, I started in the brewery, and I loved making this beer because we would mix all the spices together to put in the kettle, and just the whole brewery would have this bouquet of spices, and it's just filled the air. And I've always loved that. So it's always stuck with me, that beer.
Is that tend to be a seasonal beer, or do you guys just to release it kind of whenever?
No, it's definitely a seasonal beer for the market, but I'll drink it whenever. I love pumpkin beer. It doesn't matter to me. If I like something, I'm going to drink it.
That's all right. Why be deterred?
And I had that pumpkin beer. I'm looking on my Untapped app right now. I had it November of last year. I picked it up in a can here in Nashville.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really liked it. So, yeah, really good beer.
All right.
Maybe we should do Halloween in March or Halloween in April.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's all right. The seasons to beer ratio is completely backwards at this point. But I'm kind of like John at this point. If it's here, like Fest beers now are out, I'm like, just embrace it. Let's go.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Zachary, what have you got?
I was going to start a little more simple, but it is still delicious. Is one of our newer ones actually is our Hoppin Pilsner. We're not necessarily known for low alcohol beers, but I got to tell you what, having a tap room and needing a place where someone could come and have more than 2 or 3, the Hoppin Pilsner comes in right now for just under 5%, and it's super crisp and refreshing. A great way to start is what I'm feeling.
That's great. And in this heat that we've had, we were just talking about. Look at that. That's
at
beautiful.
that.
Yes. And this we've had those beers are welcome.
And Zachary,
Yes.
I actually influenced Scott to get that on our trip when we went to Hoppin Frog, because I had gotten that one on a flight, and I'm drinking it, and I said, man, this is a really, really good Pilsner, and I really enjoyed it. It stood out even more from some of the other Pilsners I've had maybe in recent time. And so Scott says, I got to get that one too. So it's always good to influence people,
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, it was like I didn't get it on my flight. I had 4 others, and then Steve said how good it was, and I'm like, well, we're not leaving until I have it. It was like, we're getting it. I don't care how long it takes to drink it. We're having it.
Oh, that makes me feel so good, because that wasn't at all our bailiwick, but we can make a damn good Pilsner. Think about it a little bit.
Yeah, that's all right. Steve, what have you got?
Well, guys, we're about to kick off, and I know we're in the early stages, I guess, of Oktoberfest season, and I found this in can here in Nashville. It is the Hoppin Frog Oktoberfest.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I am a Oktoberfest guy. I love trying almost any variation of an Oktoberfest beer, and this is the first one. In fact, I had it the other night, and it was really good, but this is the first Oktoberfest beer that I've had from you guys, and so great to kick off the season for it.
Heck yeah. I can tell you something special about that. It's 100% German ingredients, which is pretty special.
Yes.
I'm fond of saying the only thing we couldn't bring in was the water. We'll have to work on that.
That would be a little more difficult.
German, and it has a cool flavor because of that traditional flavor. That malt that they have over there is different.
The story about that beer that Steve's drinking right now. A couple years ago, a group of our friends got together and we did a blind tasting on nothing but Oktoberfest beers. And we had 18 different beers, so everybody just brought different things. And I'm not kidding. That beer won in a blind test, multiple rounds. That beer won out.
Wow.
Ours?
Yes.
I believe it.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome.
It did.
That's
and I'll
great.
say, and there were some other German beers in there, and I have them on my list here. Like Eyinger, Warsteiner was in there.
Really?
Yes.
It's like my absolute favorite. I just love Angers.
Yep. They were the Hacker Shore, Shiner, Polliner, and even Sam Adams was in that blind tasting. So to win in a blind is even better, I think, because you don't know what you're getting.
To be fair, we probably charge more for ours than most of the other people because, we don't skimp on any ingredients. So that's wonderful that we could actually win that blind tasting. It makes me feel good. It's kind of, it's justifying for what we do because we use more ingredients than most people. You end up getting more flavor than most people, but also more cost. And I love them, so we don't stop. But yeah, there's sometimes when we wish we could be more cost effective. But when you win contests, when you beat 18 other Oktoberfest, that's
That's
amazing.
right.
Including Eyinger. Oh my God.
Yep.
I mean, it's like the leading one from Germany in my book.
Yep. And like I said, multiple rounds, so it wasn't a fluke.
Wow.
You ran the gauntlet and you won.
God, I'm
Wow.
shocked. Thank you, man. It makes me feel good. You made my
Yeah.
night.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing. That's great.
We were going to talk about Oktoberfest, beer at some point during this podcast. Since we're doing it now, it kind of evokes some other questions. We talk about this all the time. What do you guys think about Oktoberfest season? This seems like it starts earlier and earlier every year. I mean, are you in on it? Or it's driven by the marketplace. I would love to know what you guys' thoughts on it are.
Well, it's definitely driven by the marketplace.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, everybody wants to get out there first. I think that's where that all started. So distributors are wanting to get it so they can get on the store shelves first before the other guys do. And so now it's just kind of expected. I mean, I think the benefit the consumer gets maybe a little bit longer period of that product, but some of them get a little upset too when they see it on the shelf and it's July.
Yeah. There's always something to be said. We always say something about it. Meanwhile, I go get it.
Right. Exactly.
So it's kind of nice to have it come out like a month earlier than you'd expect, and then you have an opportunity to buy it a second time. That's kind of
Yeah, I guess the downside of that is if it goes away too quickly and it's still the middle of even October, if it lasts that long, that's kind of the downside of it. But I'm not going to sit there and let it sit on the shelf. I'm going to get it. I'm going to drink it.
Yeah, I mean, as a brewery that does a lot of different styles of beer, do you feel like the style of Oktoberfest, there's a lot of people that are coming in, and this time of the year they are expecting it, and if they're not seeing it, they're walking away disappointed. So it's consumer demand, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely got to have it.
I credit Sam Adams ultimately.
there you go.
They were the ones that always seem to have it out first.
They paved the way for us. I have great respect for people like them, and the close local one that did that for us is Great Lakes. They've been around for I think 35 years. Got to throw them respect every time I can, man, because they paved the way for us. They were charging more than anyone had ever charged for beer before. It was really awesome and tons of flavor, and we took it to the next level.
When do you guys, because like I said, I obviously saw this in a beer store. In fact, I was just south of me. I live south of Nashville, and I went on a beer and liquor store about a week ago, and I was on their Facebook page. I'm like, you have any Hoppin Frog down there? And like, we absolutely do. And I walked in, and they had several different variations. But when I saw that Oktoberfest, I said, this is going to be perfect for the podcast.
You made a beeline right for it.
I had to. When do you start sending out cans of Oktoberfest during the year?
That'd be a Zachary question, probably, right?
That's in July.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
It's
Yeah.
hard to believe.
Yes, we
Well,
have
I
our
mean, it's just
official-
because when you think about the timeline, from when it gets picked up from us and then gets to the distributor and then the time they get it to the stores and then till it gets on the shelves, I mean, there is a little bit of a time frame in which all that needs to happen. So that ensures, an August shelf date, but some are a little faster than others. So yeah.
Do you have to start brewing that in March, or can you wait a little later for that, or do you go ahead and get it out of the way as early as possible?
No, we do it a little. I do. It's funny. I knew you were probably going to ask when do we start brewing that. And off the top of my head, I don't remember. I feel it's a little later than March, though. I do know that.
Yeah, you don't have to
overseas,
store
I
them in the
guess.
lagering tunnels anymore, right? We've got technology now where we don't
Right.
have to do that.
Right.
Right.
No tunnels involved.
Right.
Yeah.
300 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know there's so many breweries out there. They do a lot of different special Oktoberfest events, maybe once a year. Do you guys do anything like that? Or or is it just more, hey, here it is, here it is in our tap room, and enjoy the Oktoberfest during the season?
That's what we don't do an event around. We probably
Yeah,
should.
it's
Yeah,
more
it-
of
it's
just
been a
enjoy it for
long
the whole
time.
season.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. We do other large events around other beers that have kind of developed a cult following around the brewery and then beyond. But Oktoberfest, I think it was a long time ago. We
did.
had like a German band, like
Yeah.
a polka band come in and all that. We did it like 1 or 2 years, and
Yep.
it was fine. A certain group of people had fun, but yeah, we've moved on to some other crazy
Sure.
parties that we have throughout the year.
Well, there's
Yeah.
already a lot of German type festivals around here too, which I think is, heck, we all go to them. So, it's
Yeah.
like, at that point, it's like, hey, here, just come and enjoy our beer, enjoy the food. And, at your leisure, don't feel like you got to come on a certain day to be able to have fun. As we like to say, it's a festival at the brewery every day.
Yeah.
So let's just
Love it.
celebrate every day.
Yep, we're throwing a beer fest every day.
Yep.
Well, my check-in tonight of Oktoberfest certainly has hogged some conversation, but we haven't found out yet what Scott is drinking, so
Oh,
we've got to ask him now.
I was waiting for an opportunity, and I
I was
found
wondering,
these
I'm looking
today.
at that can going, what is that?
Plum. Where's my camera?
I can't see.
Oh man.
Oh, plum chucker.
Wow.
Oh,
Double porter.
Yeah.
15.8%. And what's great, and maybe it's the only way it's served, it's in like an 8.5-ounce can.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, look at
Thank
this.
you.
It's a tiny little thing. It's
It's
awesome.
perfect. It's a personal serving, even though it's
It is.
16.
And for that ABV, you don't need 16 ounces necessarily. Although I did get Chorus
that
the
looks like-
Quasher.
Well, that's barrel aged.
You got a rare
Wow.
can there. That's a
Really?
great beer. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
We don't make the barrel age version of that every year.
That's
Wow.
a
So
golden
that-
ticket.
I'm
Yeah,
going back to
right
get
there.
the rest of them.
I
now.
love it. It's like Willy Wonka there.
That's
Uh-huh.
right.
Well, I love them because they're all these smaller cans, and then I got a Taurus, the Tyrant. I got that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you know
Another
what?
small can.
Here's another one to not to jump too far, but to add to your collection. Keep an eye out for. But
Oh, yeah.
No way.
sextuple. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that a triple?
No.
Okay.
It's not a triple. It's not a quad.
Oh,
not a
pentuple.
It's a
hence the-
sextuple.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well,
imagine a super
That's right.
quad. A
Yeah.
super quad.
It's just 16.4%.
Okay.
Light, easy drinking. But again, another one of these nice single serving cans.
I loved
These have
them.
been popular.
So,
So
I don't know
this-
if you guys been keeping up with the frog, but we actually coined the pentuple. We got to a point where we won a bronze medal with it at the GABF, followed by a gold medal. So we can confidently say that we've made a great example of what would be considered a Belgian beer, but they haven't made it yet because
Yeah.
they've made up to the quadruple. Well, we made a pentuple, and we've won some of the best medals now. So we're super excited about that. Our head brewer Lee was the one that suggested, "Hey, I think it's time for sextuple." I said, "Oh, no way. You kidding me?" And then I looked, I'm like, man, it's been like 6 or 7 years since we released the pentuple. Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
They're patterned just like the Belgians do. So every odd numbered one is going to be a lighter, more hop forward one. This being sextuple, it's rich and thick and delicious.
Are
those-
there's obviously a lot of competition out there to win these awards with other breweries. I mean, what does this mean for you guys? I mean, you've been at it since about 2006. What does it mean for you in this age, to keep winning awards?
It means the world because it's such competition now. It's harder and harder to prove yourself. You can point to the medals you had before, but it's only about the ones you won recently, which kind of bums me out because I haven't entered the last couple of years, but we haven't entered the last couple of years. But as it turns out, the GABF is changing, so I don't know if as many people are entering anymore. Things are changing. We'll have to prove ourselves differently now. What was your question?
Are you going to
No.
GABF this year? No.
No.
You just try to go every few years, or just when the mood strikes you?
We don't have a plan. We decided not to do it last year or this year. We're focusing on other growth aspects of the business.
Okay.
Nice way to put it. Nice way to spin it.
There you go.
Well, you guys just celebrated 19 years in business. Do I have that right? 19. You just had a
Let me think. 19's coming up September 1st.
Yeah.
September 1st.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're coming.
Yeah.
We're
Almost
coming up
there.
on it. I know when we were at the brewery, they were saying it was coming up, and I figured maybe it had happened. Or so you're just weeks away from 19 years.
Yes.
How are you guys going to celebrate that?
We don't have a massive celebration. I guess that'd be the 20th year, but the 19th we should do something, huh? I mean, we always do things like food specials. We'll break out tons of different beers. We'll probably do like 6 vintage beers that we'll get out. We'll tap 3 at the beginning of the week, 3 towards the end of the week, and we'll make it some of the best ones that we have. I mean, we have such a stash now. After being open for 19 years, man, you look at the list, it's like you start salivating, like, oh my gosh. Yeah, what are we going to tap up? So it's really fun to be us when it comes to anniversary weeks and stuff like that.
Can you do a 19 tuple? Is that a thing? I don't know. What's the thing for 19? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
And what do you get someone for your 19th anniversary? You know, it's
Yeah, right. Is that a diamond? No, wait a minute.
yeah. I don't know what that is. Beer. Let's go with beer.
Beer.
Right.
Fred, what did things look like? I mean, when you go all the way back now to 2006, when you opened, what did things look like back then for your brewery?
You could almost do no wrong. You'd put product out there, and unless it was shitty, people loved it. Lucky for us, we don't have any of those problems. As I asked distributors, they would oftentimes say yes. Now they laugh in your face. Yeah, it's really hard to get distributorships now, whereas before they were interested. It was cool. It was so different back then. I like to tell people when I got my license in Ohio, I was number 40. Now there's 440, or there were at the beginning of the year. There's probably more now. So it's really changed quite a bit.
Fred, when you emailed us last, you said that these guys had been with you at least 10 years or over 10 years, each of them. That's got to be a testament to the work environment, your coworkers, what you guys are doing. Can you guys talk to that for being there for 10 years and kind of what that means to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can go first. Yeah, it's been. I mean, obviously, we're when we started, brewery was, 4 or 5 years old. I'm kind of starting to grow, and Fred had been doing a lot of it himself, and was brought us on board, and always took great care of us, and was a great teacher, great motivator. Learned a lot. We had a lot of fun. We worked hard though too. It's not like home brewing. I guess I should say that now, the disclaimer. It's not like home brewing where you come in, you set up, you start getting things going, and then you just drink all day.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you do knock out and you go home. And you leave a mess in your kitchen or garage or wherever you're doing it. It's
That's
not
right.
quite like that. So there's a little adjustment there. No. But yeah, no, and it's just it's been awesome to be part of it. And like I said, I mean, when we started out, there was only a handful of us. We had lunch together every single day. Fred treated us. Heck, as silly as it sounds, our brewery has air conditioning, so you're not, in the summer, you're not like, sweating so bad you don't want to go in. We looked forward to going to work every day because we got to do what we enjoyed to do, which was make great beer. And then when you see, when you're out and about and you see something that you were part of at a bar, or you hear someone talking about it that doesn't know who you are, I mean, it just makes it that much better. So it's been awesome. It's been great. Obviously, there's been lots of ups and downs in the industry, heck, in the world in general. And Fred's been more than accommodating and helpful in all our various situations. And I can't say thanks enough for the opportunities that have been presented to myself. And I don't want to speak for John, but I think in general, that's how the majority of our team that's been around. I mean, we've been here 14 plus years, and we've got another round of folks that we kind of had hired in, probably 10 years or so ago. And we're like a family, we've had the same, we've had a few people come and go as life does, for various reasons, but most of them we stay in touch and communicate with and see them out and things like that. So
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like been a big family that we've built, and Fred's been the leader of it all.
That's nice to hear you feel that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
John, what about you?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how I got started and why I never left. When I was going to college, I went to college when I was older, right? So I didn't even start till I was 25. And there was this place across the street from where I lived in Akron, because I went to the University of Akron, much like Fred and Zachary. There was a store called the West Point Market, and they had Hoppin Frog beer in these 22-ounce bottles. And I was like, what is this? And back then, this is 2009, 2010, somewhere in there. I'm like, what is this? Barrel-aged Boris, the Crusher. Okay, I'll give it a try, And I'm like, I love this stuff. So around that time, around 2010, I started dating my wife, who had already knew about Hoppin Frog because of she loved the raspberry beer that Fred made a long time ago. And we don't make it anymore, but she got me into Hoppin Frog, and I graduated college. I was about to go to grad school. She's like, why don't you go and see if they need help? Like, you know what? You're right. I mean, because I'm always having people over. I'm always doing beer dinners at my house, bringing in new beers for people to try. I fell in love with the beer industry back then because it was exploding with flavor, right? I grew up watching my dad drink, Old Milwaukee's Best. And then, you transition to all of these stouts and then Hoppin Frog doing barrel-aged beers. And I was like, dang, this is really cool. So I went in and nobody was there except for, I believe her name was Brenda, who was there from the beginning, has helped Fred out. I bought some beers from the cooler, that the one cooler they had, came back another day, and I met Fred's dad because Fred was running around busy. They were bottling and doing a bunch of stuff. And so I talked to Fred's dad for about 20 minutes, left. Then he called me on the phone, hey, why don't you come back for an interview? And I never looked back. I didn't know a lot about the mechanics of brewing, but if anyone ever asked me, if you're willing to go into a place and just do whatever they say, sweep the floor, take this over there, do this, do that, if you just listen to people and get every opportunity you can to help somebody, eventually they'll teach you things. And eventually our head brewer Lee was like, yeah, I guess I could work with him. Because if you ever met Lee, that's a compliment. That's a compliment, all right? He's not going to go pat you on the back and say, hey, you're doing a great job. He's like, yeah, I don't mind him. So great guy. He'll bend over backwards for you, but that's kind of how Lee is. And I just fell in love with it. I never left. And I don't want to restate everything Zachary said, but it feels like a family. We take care of each other. We have a common goal, and we love what we do. So when that happens, whether it's the good is great and the bad isn't so bad, right?
Yeah,
because you're all there working together to make it happen.
It's such a unique goal we have. I like to describe it as ultimately we're selling fun.
Right.
Because all this is fun. You drink these crazy beers. Oh, what are you drinking? Oh, I'm drinking this Repeat 3X we made with Pete from Pete's Wicked Ale. Look at that. Is that fun or what?
It is fun.
Yes.
We're selling fun. Just selling fun.
Yeah.
I think the thing that stood out when we came in mid-May and we stopped in there and we were there for like an hour and a half because we weren't going up to Cleveland, and we did go to Great Lakes. You mentioned them earlier. We had a great time there too. And I love the variation of beer on your tap list. I mean, it was tremendous. I mean, I know I'm looking at my flight that I had, and I got, the Gangster Frog IPA, the Hoppin Pilsner, the Kickin' Blackberry Turbo Shandies Citrus Ale, which I really loved, and also the Smashing Honey Blonde. And so everything I got, I mean, I was like, I'm going for a variation here today, and every single one of them, were really fantastic. And the thing I'm curious about, when you first started, Fred, how many beers did you start out with?
I think it was 4. And one of them was made as a blend from 2 of the ones that we were making, the IPA and the stout, blended them together and made a black and tan. So when we opened the doors, we had 4 beers.
Did you have a goal set in your mind? Did you have a goal where in a year from now, I want to double the amount of beer that I'm doing, or 5 years from now? What was your goal for that, or did you have one?
My goal was to make sure that I didn't lose my house, which I had put on the line. That was my ultimate goal.
Yeah.
So everything's centered around that. Trying to make sure I had enough income. I put beer in my trunk and I was delivering it everywhere. I was calling everyone, doing everything I could to make sure I had enough income. That was the goal.
Did the Shandies and Rattlers come later, or is that part of your vision too when you first started? Because they're a big part of your business, right?
In 2009, we had a couple events at our place, and at those events, we had a light, easy drinking beer base that I used for a fruit beer. And where did it start? It might have been me, but we decided to stir in Country Time lemonade into that for the party. And everyone liked it so much. They're like, well, you got to sell this. I'm like, well, I can't sell that exactly, but I bet you I can develop that by looking at the ingredients on the list and saying, well, the biggest one's right there. It's the first one. I mean, I got to start with that and put a bunch in this beer and see how much else other things I need. That's where I started. I was able to reverse engineer Country Time lemonade by looking at the first 5 ingredients. That's how I built the flavors in the shandy.
It seems like it's such a big deal for you guys, the shandy. That Turbo Shandy, is that a baseline for a lot of the other ones too? Is that Turbo the one that's kind of the baseline for all the others, or a lot of the others?
Yeah. It's a baseline for about 15 beers we do right now, including some that even don't say shandy on them. They just, supersede shandy. They're better than shandy in a way, like the pineapple upside down cake. Not a lot of people know that, but that's the shandy base.
Okay.
But when you taste that, you're like, gee, it tastes like pineapple.
I've had that one. Yes, it's really good. Yes. Yeah. I had the recently, as a matter of fact, somebody shipped it to us, the peanut butter and jelly. There you go. Yeah. Zachary's got it. Zachary's got a whole cooler and stuff right there.
I came prepared.
Yes.
We'll talk about the beer and Zachary just pulled it up. Yeah, I got one right here.
Yeah, you were talking about that. Scott and I both had the peanut butter and jelly Turbo Shandy. I'm very fascinated because we were just at a brewery last night that had a PB&J beer, and there's a lot of different breweries now that are all catching on to that. Do you think this is a phase, or do you think it's here to stay with the PB&J type collaboration beers?
I think those type of beer ideas are here to stay. But is there like a trend where there'll be a PBJ for a while and then it'll go away? I don't know. I'll bet you people will always be making that. It's like some of these traditional flavors that people make. That seems traditional to me. What do you guys think?
I think it's fascinating. I think it's fascinating because it seems like it just caught on maybe in like the last 2 years or so, at least in this area that I've kind of noticed.
People are learning how to make these flavors that they really love from their childhood in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really know. I mean, there's peanut butter beers out there that seem to stick and some that don't. And I think it could be very likely that you'll have peanut butter and jelly beers around for a while, but only the good ones will stick around, right? Because if you get something that, and I'm sure you guys have experienced it, if it tastes like a novelty item, you do it once and you'll never do it again. You're like, okay, I did it. I'm done. I barely got through it. But if it tastes good, you'll come back to it. And I don't think they're going to dominate the market, but I think that there's a place for them. And if they're done right, I think people enjoy that kind of stuff,
Yeah, and when they taste exactly like they say, that's a big thing. Like in this area, and you guys may have heard of them, is Zool, XUL out of Knoxville. They do that PB&J, the mixtape PB&J.
Yes, I haven't had it, but I've heard of it, yes.
That set the world, at least set this area on fire with the PB&Js. And Southern Grist was doing one, and now everybody's got one, and they just seem to be at least in this area, kind of the leader in that. And now they've done peach and blueberry and grape and strawberry, and there are variations of it. And I think you're right. Because they're so good, I think they'll be around for a while.
And I've said this to Scott a few times, or not often, but every once in a while, maybe it's, everything is subjective when it comes to beer. You go and you get one, you're thinking, maybe this is just flight worthy for me. Maybe it's a little bit too sweet, a little overpowering, and maybe I just rather have it on a flight rather than a 16-ounce can. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because I think that enhances your experience and maybe want more in the future. You know exactly what you want. And I've said this before, with some beers, it's kind of like going into a restaurant and ordering a dessert, and you're going, yeah, I got that molten lava cake that I'm going to order for dessert, but after I get about half of it done, I'm like, all right, that's enough for me for tonight.
Yeah, everything from like cinnamon roll to, like you said, chocolate cake or brownies or anything. It's all good stuff, but sometimes it can be rich.
Right.
Sure.
And that goes back to those little cans that you've got.
Yes.
There, right?
Yes.
If you give it to people in the proper portion size, then they're not overwhelmed by it.
Yes, that's right. And don't get drunk after they finish, or not completely drunk when they finish the 16-ounce can.
Like this little one, this Repeat 3X, it's only 15.6%, but it's also only 8.5 ounces, so no big deal.
So all of your guys' tolerance is probably pretty high because you consider you're getting a lot of the high ABV stuff all the time.
I think that if you're in this industry long enough, hopefully you learn how to pace yourself. It's that old rule, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Some people learn, some people don't. If you've ever been to a beer festival, you'll see some people learn, some people don't.
Yep.
Exactly right. I do often wonder how they can get so drunk on the little glasses that you get at a beer fest, but they manage.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it is that tolerance
Slamming
thing.
them down,
Low tolerance.
Whoa,
Yes. 6 of those for some people is a lot.
Yeah, they just aren't used to it, man. It just totally takes them by surprise.
Yeah.
They're thinking beer, sure. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah. Yeah, again, that's it. They're shooting them. A lot of times you see them shooting them. Like, oh, it's just a little bit. Yeah. It catches up with them.
Curious, when you opened in 2006, were there any other breweries open in that area at that point? In the Akron area? Do you know?
I'm thinking, were there any around 2006? No, but I think that, my predecessor that I had started, I cut my teeth at a local restaurant. They started their brewery about a year later because the restaurants closed. It was Thirsty Dog Brewing Company. They closed those restaurants, and they opened up about a year after I did in Akron also. And, we've supported each other. I look at that like my alma mater. So, just recently they wanted keg caps from us, and we just gave them some. They're good people. Good people.
Yeah.
We love these guys.
I just learned today, and shame on me, but I didn't know what Boris or Taurus or Chorus meant until actually when I was doing research. I go, wait a minute, there's a common theme here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to hear about it.
I'll tell you where it started. It started with me going to the local brew pub and seeing RIS and asking what that meant. And they said it's a Russian Imperial Stout. So when I started making one at home and I started brewing, I called it Boris because it was a bodacious Russian Imperial Stout.
Oh, bodacious.
So that's where the name came from. But when I started the brewery, the O took on a different meaning because I wanted to also, I guess, incorporate, but also take advantage of the fact that Samuel Smith oatmeal stout was so popular back then, back in 2006, and they used oatmeal. So I wanted to make Boris Bodacious Oatmeal Russian Imperial Stout, and that's what it is today.
Mm-hmm.
The oatmeal really adds a level of complexity to the beer that just helps so much. So that's where the name came from. And then Doris's double oatmeal Russian Imperial Stout and so on.
And then we've got the Taurus, and we've got the is it chorus, I guess?
Yeah, the weirdest one was chorus. I remember looking it up. I'm like, well, it is really a word, I guess. I don't have to make that word up. I mean, that word exists. I've never seen that word. I don't know if we'll make a 5. I don't know what the 5 one will be. I think we might have maxed out. I'm not sure.
I thought we came up with a name, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
I forget, man.
But yeah, gets more challenging. But yeah,
Yeah.
We have to take better notes when we're drinking. That's the hard part.
Yes, and then know where you put the notes. That's the other part.
I bet some of your company meetings are a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then we'll look at each other. Are you writing this down?
Yeah, really.
right. Who's got this? Who's the scribe today?
Everybody gets in these conversations, and you're spewing ideas. And that would be a great idea, and that would be a great idea. Yeah. And it's like the meeting's over. You're like, no, nobody wrote anything down, or we got nothing.
I will say
Mike,
we do a pretty good job of writing stuff down.
Yeah.
We do. Yeah, we've learned.
I think one of the awesome things, though, is, the conversation we're having about the names, because to me, that, especially if you come into the brewery, that also enhances the brewery experience where you're saying, okay, not only am I getting the shandy, I'm getting the shandy that, Boris to this and that and everything. And I just think that adds so much more fun and the dynamic to it that you want to stay and you want to have a good time.
Versus just stout.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is our stout beer. This is the beer.
I'll have your porter.
Yes. I know. I always find it interesting when you go somewhere and someone just names the beer the style of the beer. And I'm like, especially when they have other names for other things. I'm like, why didn't you try on this one? But
it's like, this is our tasty lager.
I'll tell you, names aren't as easy as it sounds. I mean, we're all sitting here spewing them off, but it's harder. And again, it goes back to writing them down, because there's sometimes that we've had it where we've said something, been like, oh my gosh, that'd be a great beer name. You better write it down. We don't have a beer for it yet, but we'll come up with something.
We'll work into it.
And then there's other times you got a beer and you're going, golly, what do we call this thing? And we always try to incorporate what you're going to experience when you're drinking it. So that's, like peanut butter, chocolate, coffee, porter, peanut butter, hazelnut, caramel, chocolate cake, stout. So, I mean, obviously it's important to have that, because then people are like, well, by reading that, you should know what you're going to experience. Versus Joe's beer.
Joe's beer. Yeah, right.
That's
how to get into it.
But the funny part is I've been places where people are like, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Well, what is it?
What is it? The mystery. You open the can
beer.
up and
It's
you
a
find
beer.
out.
And apparently Joe made it.
Was it, and it might be before all of our times, wasn't it Billy's beer? Was it?
Yeah.
Didn't it just say beer on the can back in the day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or it didn't say Billy's beer. It might have said
Maybe
Billy's
was it
beer.
Billy's
I forget,
beer?
man.
Oh, that's funny.
That was
Shelley,
Jimmy
you
Carter's
remember?
brother.
It
In
said
fact,
Billy's
I
beer.
had a great uncle. He had many years ago. He passed away, and I was at a family reunion a few years ago, and I'd asked one of his grandkids this. I said, "Is it true that when your grandpa, it was my great uncle Howard, when he died, they were going through his house and they found Billy beer in his refrigerator?" And they said, "Yep, that's true." Now I don't know if anybody kept it or not, but
Wow.
It probably wasn't good to start with, and let alone
I can't imagine.
At least he kept it in the fridge.
Yeah.
There you go.
Billy's beer.
Speaking of fridge, I'm going to visit my fridge again.
Yeah. I love that it's handy. It's just right there.
Right. There's a few beers in there.
Yeah.
All stocked up tonight.
So you obviously barrel age a lot of stuff. Is it a barrel aging program per se, or do you just randomly say, hey, this would be really good in a barrel?
Well, probably a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it depends on what you mean by program. So we have beers that we make all the time, like barrel-aged Boris. Like that's a staple. We like,
Okay.
there are certain beers that are available that have been barrel-aged. And then sometimes we make a beer and go, you know what? We need to put that in a barrel.
Yeah.
And so we do. Right there.
Yep.
Barrel-aged Frog's Hollow Double Pumpkin Ale. There is a barrel-aged Sextuple. There's a We've done the Pentuple in different barrels. We've done it in red wine barrels. We've done it in Sottle barrels. We've done it in Mezcal barrels. We've done it in a bunch of cool stuff because it lends itself well to that. So I guess we'll do some of that stuff, but then we do have mainstays that we offer all the time.
When did you guys get into the barrel aging of beers? When did that start to catch on at Hoppin Frog?
I think it was 2008. I mean, it was way early.
So,
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. Hang on, let me think. The first barrels I got were from Cavalier. I didn't start working with them right away. It was after the Shandy came out. Shandy was developed in 2009. In 2010, the summer of 2010 was the big cutoff. I told my distributor that was around the whole state, except for around the brewery, which I had another distributor. If you don't buy these guys out that are around the brewery, they're going to never be able to be bought out because I'm about ready to release the Shandy. And everyone's been dying for it. It's going to take over my sales. So one thing led to another. It was 2010, and I was able to talk Cavalier into carrying us across the state, and they bought out the smaller distributor that was around us. Where's I going with this? Oh,
Barrel-aged beer.
Yeah. So with the relationship with Cavalier, we were able to hit, I'm pretty sure in 2011 was when we got the first barrels. So I'm pretty sure we started our barrel aging program in 2011. I hadn't really thought about that, but yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Do a lot of times do you just come across barrels and we work backwards into the barrel as far as what was in it before, whether it be wine or whiskey or
Early on, that was definitely what happened. There was time we formed some relationships with some different cooperages, and as we were buying barrels, and frankly at the time we were one of the few, it seemed, that were doing that. So when they would get something special, they'd usually reach out and say, hey, would you guys be interested in, so for example, Pappy Van Winkle barrels? And which now everyone knows what Pappy Van Winkle is now. But at the time I'm like, I don't know, sounds cool. I guess I don't know anything about it. So in my ignorance, I'm like, sure. Well, then I asked how much, and they were really a lot more than usual. So I got a hold of Fred, and we did a little research, and we're like, oh, holy smokes.
Yep.
These are actually, we should get these. So I got back to him and said, yes, we'll take them. So that was a story where we got some barrels that we were definitely not seeking for. We were able to secure them one other time. And then after that, needless to say, they've become very hard to come by. But there's been other ones that of similar type things where it's like, oh gosh, that would be great. And frankly, I mean, a lot of them Boris has gone into. Boris is just such a great beer for that. And so we've had lots of different variations of Boris in different barrels. But then as we kind of branched out and said, hey, something else other than Boris in a barrel might be good. Yeah. Now we see a lot more. I mean, we got our pumpkin, we've done Shandy. I mean, heck, we've done Shandy in, bourbon barrels. We've done Shandy in tequila barrels.
God, I love Shandy in bourbon barrels. It reminds me of a whiskey sour. It is so tasty.
Yeah.
But the more popular one, I think, is the tequila barrel one.
The tequila barrel one has been very popular, but everyone's got their thing that they like, right? So, I mean, as with anything, when you run out of it, of course, there's a line of people that said they would have bought more. So, I mean, you're going to have that, but yeah, but the market for that has definitely changed a lot in regards to getting barrels. It's gotten a lot more challenging to get those specific barrels and those, what we would say, quote unquote, special barrels. So they're few and far between, but when they come, we snag them for sure.
You guys are at least known to us and probably to the craft beer world that Shandies, like I know you guys from Shandies, barrel aged, and then the high grav barrel aged stuff too. That's kind of how I come to know you guys, and then dive into the other stuff too. But is that kind of what you perceive for in the industry? Kind of the barrel aged stuff, the high ABV stuff, or
I guess it depends on who you're talking to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at one point in time in the past, I think that was probably true for most people, but we have so many different beers and so many different flavors now that have reached so many different people. I think that people have realized that we can do a lot more than that. We can do that really well. We can do Pilsners really well. We can do Shandies really well. So at the end of the day, yes, we cut our teeth on stouts, barrel-aged, high-gravity beers, always known for quality. But to be honest, a lot of people I talked to today, some of them haven't even tried those beers, but they love our Shandies, or they love our Gangster Frog, or they like the cool flavor combinations like our coconut cream pie or pineapple upside down cake. You know, they flock to those beers, and, you know, they might send other people our way that like that stuff, but we get a good mix that come into our tasting room. Hence, like in January, we have a stout day where we blow out huge party stouts like crazy. In the summer, we got Shandy Day, you know, so we've got a huge party blowout with Shandies, exclusive flavors that we make there. So I guess that's the long answer to your question, but I think the expanse or the breadth of our portfolio reaches so many different people that I think we're known for a lot of different things now.